morning, good evening, wherever you may be, across the nation, around the world. Welcome to this 100% live transmission of The Next Dimension with your host, as always, Dr. Derail. It's January 26th. No matter what country you're in or what language you speak, welcome around the world. Again, it's your host, Dr. Derail, and your co-host, Tibor, the Fearless Archon Slayer. Coming up this week, guaranteed 3 hours of rock and roll, breaking weird news, and a Rastafari Reggae Break. Coming up for you weary robot fighters at 11 minutes after 11. We'll have some breaking weird news off of 14 times, The Drudge Report, Rants.com, Prison Planet, Al Jazeera, South China Morning News. And if you're listening to this transmission, you are the resistance.
if he'd left behind a clue. The front page of the paper, dated 1992. He remembered when he used to be the chairman of the board. But that was when the world was young and long before the war. And everybody wants another piece of pie today, he said. You gotta watch the ones who always keep their hands clean. It's the big heat. Someone following. It's the big heat. Step aside, come in. It's the big heat. There's someone following you. It's the big heat. Step aside, we're coming through.
And we have some technical difficulties already on this. It's January 26th. Good morning, good evening, no matter what country you're in or what language you speak. Welcome around the world to the next dimension. The first song you heard, Stan Ridgway, The Big Heat. You might have heard that on the first Next Dimension, which was back in 2016. Coming up this episode, we got weird news as promised. This one is off the Drudge Report. We found it here. It goes to The Guardian. Work my way across the complex here. Scientists are working on a pill for loneliness. Modern life has led to greater isolation, which can fuel an array of disorders. If there are any medications for social pains like depression and anxiety, why not loneliness? They're just trying to sell some more pharma. I tell you, if you're feeling lonely, chemicals isn't the answer. Alcohol is not the answer. Maybe something natural might be the answer, but we'll see what they're trying to prescribe you here, because I don't recommend anything they tell you on the internet. You know? So, it says 22 to 75% of American adults are persistently lonely. A number of cultural structural changes might be to blame, they say. More Americans live alone than ever before. It's because the solid-state intelligence from another dimension has pretty much destroyed every family situation, every home. The trouble that chronic loneliness, it says, doesn't make you feel terrible. It's also terrible for you. You scroll that down there. So it doesn't say what they're trying to prescribe you. They're just prescribing you a placebo right now. We'll scroll it down. We got anything here. We got a name of a scientist. There's a scientist, her name's Stephanie, and she's talking about social fitness exercises. Depression, anxiety, loneliness has no recognized clinical form. There's no available diagnosis or treatment for feeling chronically isolated. Well, that's what they do. They isolate robot fighters and destroy their families, and then they prescribe a medication till they upload themselves to the core CPU and erase their souls. That's what they're trying to do. They're saying in this article that Loneliness is a result of biological signals that push us to reach out to others, interacting with a dysfunctional mind that perceives social danger everywhere. There is social danger everywhere. Safety is an illusion. They're filling the streets with robots before our eyes. Get ready to dodge driverless cars dropping off robotic delivery dogs. I care about you guys. That's why I tell you this stuff. Coming up.
It's just the ravings of a demented space tramp. Set the wolfweeds on him.
Do that, and you hurl this planet back into the Dark Ages, and for what? To satisfy the petty power cravings of that pathetic woman.
Have a care, Doctor.
Have a care yourself. Care for your people for a change.
Kill him!
Dreaming resemblance of something from a fairly primitive society, and yet quite obviously it is some form of travel space capsule. If we could dismantle it.
A hunter-destroyer.
Strip it down. No, sort
A
of. No, it may be
hunter-destroyer
a booby
machine.
trap. You can never tell with mysterious contraptions such as this.
And right back at her. That was I Dream in Mirrors by Iron Maiden. We got some weird news. I found it here off of 14 Times. Thanks to Tibor, the fearless Archon Slayer, in his Archon slaying non-military industrial robot fighting complex.
Is beautiful.
It's very nice. We are 14 times before they shut down website. We cannot get no website, no reading whatsoever. But here on my CPU, I have this amazing program here that Tibor got me, and it can get me any magazine on the planet at any time in PDF format. We have a couple quick weird news stories here. One of them's from Texas. Jennifer Sutcliffe was gardening at her home near Lake Corpus Christi, southern Texas, when she came upon a 4-foot, 1.2 meter western diamondback rattlesnake. She called her husband, Jeremy, who decapitated it with a shovel. 10 minutes later, the bodiless head bit his hand when he went to remove it. He fell into a coma and had to be given 26 doses of antivenom to keep him alive. He was put on a ventilator for several days. This is from the Houston, Texas Chronicle in 2018. That's just a quick one. We're working real hard. We're trying to get you some more cutting-edge breaking weird news here for this edition of The Next Dimension. You gotta be careful. Even if you knock the head off it, it can still get you. Just like those Google robots. Skynoog. We've been working really hard here, fighting technical malfunction and sabotage.
Go take care of the Earth Boy. What that do? 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 Maybe that little robot isn't such a bad evil minion after all. What to do? What to do? Hey.
Anyway, it's good to be back in the saddle here anyway, doing The Next Dimension.
I'm
That was Back in the Saddle Again by Sebastian Bach with Axl Rose. That was before the Chinese Democracy album came out. One day Axl Rose texted, Sebastian Bach texted Axl Rose and he asked him if he wanted to be on the album. Can you give me some volume there? Anything playing there? Oh, thank gosh, we can hear it. We don't got headphones here. We're working on stuff. We're basically at, I'd say, 25% of 100%. But it's still, hey, we're going to entertain you. We're just going to chill it out and slow it down. This next weird news story is about a 3-letter acronym. No, it's not the FBI. No, it's not the CIA. It's close, though. It's CBD. CBD goes mainstream as bars and coffee shops add weed-related drinks to menus. This is off a CNPC. We got this off of the Drudge Report. CBD for short. Cannabidiol is a compound found in the cannabis plant, and it's in just about everything. What do you mean just about everything? Like lettuce and everything? Like normal lettuce? It says maybe it's in everything because you're adding it to everything because it goes with everything. It's already being added to coffee, cocktails, lotion, pet treats, and more. Some users swear by CBD, saying it relieves their anxiety, helps them sleep, and eases their pain. Hey, this sounds like a good idea for loneliness. Maybe the CBD thing, prescription for loneliness. They might have something here, and it might not be an oil-based product. Sounds pretty promising, actually. Sounds like the solution to our last news stories. Maybe they could have gave this guy some CBD before he went messing with that rattlesnake. Then he wouldn't have almost died. Kahan and Mama Chaz own this CBD shop. They opened an art-filled cafe in Manhattan's East Village on April 10th, 2018. 10 days later, Mama Cha created a CBD-laced drink to celebrate Marijuana Holiday 420. Suddenly, there's a lineup out the door. So about half the product's sales come from CBD drinks and products, with the other half coming from virgin matcha and coffee drinks. Is that how you say that? Matcha, Tibor? Maca. That's weird. You know, it's like an airplane, Mach, right? Maca? But it's like spelt match, except without a T. I don't know, that used to mess me up when I was younger.
He's for hipsters.
He is for hipsters. Anyway, CBD is mainstream now. And it's a miracle product. And it's natural. And I think it's a solution to a lot of things out there. So you got to give them credit for a job well done. Coming up, what do we got? Last time I checked, this is a rock and roll show. See, if you're taking CBD as a prescription, you'll never end up a junkie.
And anyone who's ever played a part Sweet Jane, sweet Jane, sweet, sweet Jane. Anyone who's ever had a dream, anyone who's ever played a part, anyone who's ever been lonely, and anyone who's ever split apart. Sweet Jane, sweet Jane, sweet, sweet Jane. Heavenly white roses seem to whisper to me when you smile. Heavenly white roses seem to whisper to me when you smile. La 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 Sweet Jane, sweet, sweet Jane.
That was some Cowboy Junkies. Sweet Jane had a little to do with that CBD we were talking about in our last story. I work my way across the complex here and get down to the big CPU desk here where Tibor the Archon Slayer is. Knock the thing off. I got some coffee down here on the... There we go. We got that background music. See, the reason why we got the background music in there is so they can't pull a Running Man on us and go, "This is Dr. Derail and this is Tibor the Archon Slayer." You know, talking about the helicopter and the hostages and stuff and trying to make us out like we're the bad guys that blew the compound up when it was them. This one's off of the Daily Mail. Some more weird news for you. Because guaranteed, 3 hours rock and roll, breaking, current, cutting edge, weird news, and a Rastafari Reggae Break coming up at 11 minutes after 11. So when the ones line up on your digital clock or radio at home, rest assured it's still the next dimension with Dr. Derail. It's just the Rastafari Reggae Break. Just in case you hear some
It has the external appearance of something from a
reggae
fairly primitive
music.
society, and yet quite obviously.
Pope Francis says social media is turning young people into social hermits and creating spirals of hatred. Actually, I just watched a documentary last night. It was on Japan and how there's a hermit culture in Japan, Because in Japan, if people don't work, they're considered worthless people, so they just sit in their apartments and they just play video games and read comic books like otaku. I'm not sure what they're called, but I think they're called Shine Otaku. Like, not Sinead O'Connor, but Shine as in die and otaku as in geeks. Or something like that. The Pope released a World Day of Social Communication message 2 days ago on Thursday. He addressed issues including online misinformation and data privacy. He also said people need to define ourselves not by divisions, by similarities. The Pope has warned the illusion of community online risks turning young people into hermits, in that narcissism and societal divisions fueled by social media is creating spirals of hatred. Spirals of hatred. I could see it with Facebook and the only Twitter feed I got at home is, like feeding the birds. The bird feeder. That's the Twitter feed I got. I'm not on that fake book thing, and if you ever found my actual real profile on there, it would have a big warning on the side. It says all the photographs and writing of Dr. Derail is owned by Dr. Derail and not owned by any privately traded entity on the stock exchange. And I did that as soon as it switched over. I had a really intelligent friend tell me what to put on there to save myself, basically save my soul. I recommend doing that too, putting some sort of waiver disclaimer so it goes down in history as that you weren't into it. So in his World Day of Social Communication message released on Thursday 2 days ago, do my cups over here, Tibor. Right up over on the mantelpiece there. Yeah, right there, brother, that's the one. The World Day of Social Communications messages released on Thursday, Pope Francis said that online discussion is too often based on opposition to the other, the person outside the group. We define ourselves starting with what divides us rather than what unites us. That's kind of nice. That's kind of positive thing. Positive outlooking, looking out for other people. And I might recommend you the last time Frank Zappa was a cartoon, he played the Pope. He played the Pope on Ren and Stimpy. And if you're listening to The Next Dimension with Dr. Derail and Tibor, the fearless Archon Slayer,
Go get him, Dr. Derail.
You are the resistance against the panopticonic, technological, socialist regime controlled by solid-state intelligence robots from another dimension. And you're listening to AIR, Atlan Internet Radio. Could never get enough air. And be careful if you're walking around on Mars out there so you don't slip and smash your space helmet open on a jagged rock.
If it ain't one thing, it's another. In the middle of the night when you come home, the bread things are all dry and scratchy. The meat things where the cats eat through the paper. The soft little things on the floor that you step on, they can all be dangerous. Sometimes the milk can hurt you if you put it on your cereal before you smell the plastic container. And the stuff in the strainer has a mind of its own. So be very careful in the dangerous kitchen when the nighttime has fallen and the roaches are crowded. In the kitchen of danger, you can feel like a stranger. The bananas are black, they got flies in the back, and also the chicken. In the dish with the foil, where the cream is all clabbered, and the salad is frightful. Your return in the evening can be less than delightful. You must walk very careful. You must not lean against it. It can get in your clothing. It can follow you in as you walk to the bedroom and you take all your clothes off while you're sleeping. It crawls off. It gets in your bed. It could get on your face then. It could eat your complexion. You could die from the danger of the dangerous kitchen. Who the fuck wants to clean it? It's disgusting and dirty. The sponge in the drainer is stinky and squirty. If you squeeze it when you wipe up, what you get on your hands then could unbalance your glands and make you blind or whatever in the dangerous kitchen. At my house tonight.
Can roll it out. A staged bio attack, a staged chemical attack, other terror attacks, mass shootings blamed on domestic groups. They've got a whole constellation of systems they can use to psyop people into going along with this. Because they've committed these crimes, they've committed this economic espionage, this economic invasion, this economic program of globalization, deindustrialization, and all of it so they can consolidate all power and leave no enemy standing. They see anybody with a business, anybody independent as the enemy. It's a scorched earth policy of kill the buffalo, let the red man starve. It's a scorched earth policy. Research what that is.
It has the external appearance of something from a fairly primitive society. And
yes, scorched earth policy. That was The Dangerous Kitchen. The Dangerous Kitchen by Frank Zappa. Because here on the Not So Late Show, danger exists. Safety doesn't exist. It's an illusion. The door to safety is shut. There's no turning back. It's 9:48 p.m. Coming up, stay tuned for information on how to join the Joint Task Force. I'm going to throw out my internet number there. Here's an awesome one that Tibor, the fearless Archon Slayer, fearlessly found for me.
It's big tech merging with Big Brother. Kinda looks like it.
This one's off of Wired Magazine. By David Samuels. A friend of mine who runs a large television production company in the car-mad city of Los Angeles recently noticed that his intern and aspiring filmmaker from the People's Republic of China was walking to work. When he offered to arrange a swifter mode of transportation, she declined. When he asked why, she explained she needed the steps on her Fitbit to sign into her social media accounts. If she fell below the right number of steps, it would lower her health and fitness rating, which is part of her social rating, which is monitored by the government. A low social rating could prevent her from working or traveling abroad. China's social rating system, which was announced by the ruling Communist Party in 2014, will soon be a fact of life for many more Chinese, and soon you listeners at home. This is a little off topic here, off the page, but if you notice, they're slowly, mildly annoying us over and over. It gets a little bit worse, like George Carlin says. You give them an inch, they'll take a yard. And I just noticed with these the way things are going with the news, how it just mildly annoys you every day. And remember, Tibor, when news used to be on just at 6 o'clock at night, not on every 3 hours?
Was credible.
Yeah, it used to be pretty tame, you know. Now it's non-stop propaganda.
Frog in boiling pot.
Yeah, definitely the frog in the boiling pot. I do believe that's happening, but that's for sure. So we're going to keep looking. We got 14 times, rents.com, the Dredge Report. South China Morning News, Al Jazeera, RT, which is Russia Today. So we're basically like a news aggregate service. We're trying to find some cool stuff for you, so you know what it is when we're talking about stuff.
A hunter-destroyer mission. A hunter-destroyer.
In Japan, fewer than ever people are getting married. Among
It has the
50-year-olds,
external
one
appearance of something from a fairly primitive society, and yet quite obviously it is some form of travel space capsule. If we could dismantle it, strip it down. No, sir. Maybe a booby trap. You cannot tell this mysterious contraption is
fisherman stew, boiled on timber and stirred with the brew. 3, 4, poured on the floor, feed all the beasties, cook up some more. 5, 6, mortar and brick, weaker than iron but stronger than sticks. 7, 8, lock up the gate, nothing to do but to sit and to wait. 9, 10, do it again, money in the hole in the day. Companion Chimera, Leafy and Grazer, tossing to Harold, mistress on sabers, so very relentless, counting the sheep, electrical fences, American sleep.
Whoa, T-Board found some good weird news for you. That was American Sleep by Clutch. Clutch is an awesome band. And good thing T-Board had his hard drive, because my hard drive's pooched. And the other person's got my hard drive. I don't even know if they still exist in this dimension. This next news story comes to us from a news arrogant site, The Daily Star. Journalism by... Who's the story by? Joshua Nevitt. So this is about love droids. Sex robot time bomb. Artificial intelligence girlfriends could fuel birth rate collapse. Remember when I told you guys what's wrong, Doctor? Why are you so upset about the robots? And I was like, I don't know, dude. It's just the social media thing and how the way computer dating's going and everything, and they're having people set other people up with computers. I know there's people that are happily married and have kids and stuff from it, and it's pretty awesome for a lot of people, but for some other people, they're going towards these love droid things, and it seems like... It says here, the increasing use of sex robots by lonely men could fuel the population crisis in Japan amid dramatic birth rate slump, according to artificial intelligence expert. Realistic sex robots programmed to speak, learn, and move on their own have been generating interest as technology becomes more deeply rooted worldwide. Artificial intelligent androids designed to resemble humans have primarily been developed by tech companies to serve sexual purposes for men and women. Despite the efforts of these companies, androids being developed by inventors are generally considered to be expensive sex toys used exclusively for pleasure. But as technology becomes more advanced, there are concerns among artificial intelligence experts about the social and moral justification about creating these things. I don't know if you ever watched a popular cartoon comic duo. It's Rick and Morty. I think we had a clip of that. So we got to give it credit for these people are digging up their concern. So we'll give them credit for that one. That there's going to be less humans on the planet, less humans in Japan because of the love droids, but what if they put artificial incubation devices in them? You know what I mean? Like, the eggs will still have to come from somewhere. Eventually they're going to want to have children or have to have children.
Don't name it.
Don't name what?
Do not name robot baby.
Do not name the robot baby. That's what Tibor says. Yeah. Once you name it, you have to take care of it and everything, right? But, you know, like, if it's life, I don't know, man. It's... Who knows where it's going? I mean, like, 10 years from now, I mean, like, it's going to be like Zager and Evans. I guarantee it. That's why it was the first song I ever played on The Next Dimension. So the declining birth rates problem. Last year, Japan suffered its biggest population drop. There was not a lot of kids born that year. I can't get the numbers on it. Oh, here we go. Taking account of the number of people that passed away on the planet. 1.37 million. An estimated 921,000 babies would be born by the end of 2018, 25,000 fewer than last year, and the lowest number since comparable records began in 1899, Japan's health ministry said. Taking into account the number of people that passed away, the efforts of Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to combat the low birth rate appears to be failing as demographers looking for answers to explain the huge drop in birth rate. I wonder if radiation has anything to do with that. And like I promised, here's your chance to join the Joint Intelligence Agency. Here's my text-free number, 1-408-658-6681. You can join the Joint Task Force. Or leave a message. Better yet, just leave a comment on the bottom of the video. I'm not joking. The Joint Task Force is a real deal robot fighting organization. Hit it! I think we got a clip here. Tibor's got a clip for us.
You think maybe I could get something from this place? Like a souvenir? Like just to have? Like something cool, you know?
Not here, Morty. We'll stop somewhere else because, you know, there's always another pawn shop.
Oh, okay. I just, I thought that robot over there looked pretty cool, you know?
Oh, it looks cool, huh? That's why you want it?
Yeah, I mean, it's different from the stuff on Earth. And I wouldn't even have anything to remember all the cool stuff we did, you know?
Okay, 60 for the resonator, and my grandson wants the sex robot.
Yep, 408-658-6681. Join the Joint Task Force or leave a message in the comments below.
Where did you get that dress?
I just told you. I found it. Back there in the wardrobe. Why? Do you like it?
Yes, I always did. Victoria wore it. She travelled with me for a time.
Well, as long as Albert didn't wear it. Oh, come on, Doctor. That's worth a smile, surely. What's the matter? You should be glad to be going home.
The Earth isn't my home, Sarah. I'm a Time Lord.
Oh, I know you're a Time Lord.
You don't understand the implications. I'm not a human being. I walk in eternity.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means I've lived for something like 750 years.
Oh, you'd still be middle-aged.
Yes!
Prevent double cross and war there. That is true even though both Sadat and Begin have secretly been eliminated during the past month and replaced with robotoid doubles. My friends, besides the Middle East, there is one other imminent trouble spot for Russia right now.
Technical difficulties there. Little apologies there. I was trying to play one song there, but it didn't end up. It disappeared. I finally got it. I had to search for it, and We're running at probably 10%. Still pretty cool, though. Anyhow, we got one about United Kingdom's Prince Philip apologizes to woman injured in car crash. A report here. This is off of January... This is the 27th, but it's not the 27th, so this is news from tomorrow. Tomorrow's news today on The Next Dimension with Dr. Derail and co-host Archon T-Board, the fearless Archon Slayer. The Archon Slayer T-Board. So it's tomorrow there, so it must be tomorrow in Britain. Britain's Prince Philip, he says that he's apologizes. He says he's deeply sorry. Deeply sorry about the injury suffered by a woman in a car crash he was involved with over a week ago, according to the report in the Sunday Mirror. The newspaper published a copy of the letter written by the 97-year-old royal to Emma Fairweather, who broke her wrist when the Kia she was in collided with the Prince's Land Rover. I would like you to know how very sorry I am for my part in the accident. I can only imagine that I failed to see the car coming, and I'm very contrite about the consequences, said the letter, signed by Philip in a blue pen. The crash, which left the Prince's vehicle on its side, happened as he pulled out of a side road to a busy main road near the royal country residence in Norfolk, eastern England. Philip was uninjured in the January 17th accident, while the driver of the Kia sustained cuts to her knee and a broken wrist. I was somewhat shaking after the accident, but I was greatly relieved that none of you were seriously injured. Well, that was actually Philip, oops. Said Philip in the letter dated January 21st, according to the Sunday report. I've since learned that you suffered a broken arm. I'm deeply sorry for this injury. Philip, known for his forthright manner and off-color jokes, retired from public life and in 2017 underwent a hip replacement and operation last April. At least it wasn't a robotoid, a total robotoid replacement, not a hip replacement. I said at least it wasn't a robotoid replacement.
They're also concerned that the pressures and inducements they have brought to bear in the case of Israel and her neighbors still may not prevent her. But that one lasted only a few hours before being gunned down on the morning of May 25th. The Russians are now very worried about the situation in Iran. They are also concerned that the pressures and inducements they have brought to bear in the case of Israel and her neighbors still may not prevent double-cross and war there.
Okay, we're waiting for a Peter Bader robotoid clip, but you all get the idea. We'll get credit for that anyway. The last song you heard on The Next Dimension was Heads I Win by Rat.
Live transmission diagnostic check. Warden William Smithers. Injuries, severe eye trauma, ruptured spleen, punctured lung, broken wrist, internal bleeding, condition critical, vital signs failing, imminent death. Subject deceased. 187, Warden, born February 14th, 1967. Died August 4th, 2032.
What's the matter with all of you?
The cryo prison served 3 non-sanctioned black terminations.
Do you wish to assign a coroner?
Murder, death, kills. 3 MDKs.
Double back down this hallway and get to the shuttle.
5 minutes. Together you said, I'm not done yet. Then I will go. I'm coming right after you. Just be ready.
That number again was 408-658-6681. Join the Joint Task Force of the Next Dimension or leave a comment below.
You're looking for snakes. They live in the Tower of the Serpent. Where rivers without end.
Shadows around the ground. Oh, nobody knew where to find him.
what are we going to do?
So far, he's beaten us on every point.
This has even got Chris.
Shh. Quiet, I'm thinking. I'm thinking. And it depresses me. The Skagwa's little zombie gang. They've got the brain power of the greatest intellect in the universe shared out among them. A think tank.
Who?
Never mind about that, just believe me. All the mines the Skagwa's stolen are now in the melting pot along with his own and operating as one.
That was Billy. Don't you lose my number. 408-658-6681. Text free. Joint Task Force. Text free is the free phone company I got. A free Wi-Fi number. You don't have to pay Earth monies or whatever. But I'm pretty sure they spy on you. So whatever information you share, like, just send some weird news stories through it. Text me some stuff. And I'll get a hold of you somehow. Just know that you're not isolated to be destroyed out there, robot fighters. I ain't trying to hunt you down. I'd like to have a weird news letter, like the conspiracy theory, sort of. Something like that, the Joint Task Force. Next Dimension Joint Task Force. It's not going to be a huge acronym. You'll probably get t-shirts one day and be pretty awesome. Once we get everything rocking, the way how we'll get her back to 1,000%. It's entertaining. I mean, it's hectic. It's live. There's no teleprompter. I mean, like, we just got, like, you know, a couple of pieces of paper, and it's hard to find pieces of paper these days, but Tibor's got a big pile underneath his other computer console down at the south end of the corridor here in the deep underground non-military robot attack base. But we don't actually have any robots here. We just attack robots and Archon alien bases and everything. And, you know, we keep you informed. Information's a weapon. You know, we go through all these news aggregates and we try and find you entertaining stuff. Stuff like this. This one's from a news aggregate site called, actually, you might have heard of it before there in Atlanta. It's called Can't Broadcast Stuff. CBS. CBS blocked a medical marijuana commercial from playing during the Super Bowl. This is by Craig Giamona. Bloomberg, January 22nd, 2019. The Super Bowl isn't ready for medical marijuana. Acreage Holdings, the multi-state cannabis company backed by John Boehner, says the CBS rejected television advertisement calls for legalization of medical marijuana. The network, which is airing the game on February 3rd, nixed the proposed spot after seeing a rough outline, according to the company. While medical marijuana is now legal in more than 30 states, the federal prohibition on cannabis has restricted research and made it difficult for some potential patients to get their hands on a drug that proponents say helps treat seizures, pain, and other ailments. In layman's term, you don't feel nothing. That CBD, woo! You got, like, sometimes you get a stinger in your arm from shoveling or whatever horrible job you have to do, carpal tunnel from typing out manuscripts or whatever you do, having to scan people at the airport or whatever strange occupation you might be in around the world, having to gas up space stations at the space station or something. CBD is good for everyone. It's good for people in space. But this is off of Time. Is this like Time Life? CBS Time or something? The brief newsletter? I don't know. It's weird. It doesn't make sense. Time magazine. I never heard of it. Anyway, coming up here on The Next Dimension. (10:26) Atlan time, British Columbia time. Just a heat of warning for people out there. When the ones line up on your digital clock or radio at home, big up and get ready, because it's The Next Dimension, Rastafari Reggae Break. Rest assured, it's still The Next Dimension, it's just the Rastafari Reggae Break. So get your matches, get your lighter, robot fighter. get ready. In case you're wondering what happened. So they don't want to put that ad on the Super Bowl. That's pretty bad. What's coming up? Even I don't know. Isn't that neat? I couldn't even tell you if I wanted to. Maybe something good. Or maybe something awesome.
T-minus 1 minute,
The rocket
35
equation.
seconds and counting.
This is Houston, over. Roger, go ahead, Houston. 11, this is Houston. You are go for LOI, over. Roger, go for LOI.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff. Liftoff. Liftoff.
Yes, liftoff. AIR3 ignition. T-minus 1 minute. Liquid hydrogen tank is at flight pressure. T-minus 1 minute, mark and counting. The firing system for the sound suppression water will be armed in just a couple seconds from now. It has been armed.
Standing there alone. The ship is waiting. All systems are go. Are you sure? Control is not convinced, but the computer has the evidence. No need to abort. The countdown starts. Watching in a trance, the crew is certain. Nothing left to chance. All is working, trying to relax. Up in the capsule, send me up a drink, jokes Major Tom. The count goes on.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Earth below us, drifting, falling, floating, weightless, calling, calling, home. Second stage is cut. We're now in orbit. Stabilizers up. Running perfect. Starting to collect. Requested data. What will it affect when all is done? Thinks Major Tom. Back at ground control. There's a problem. Go to rockets full. Not responding. Hello, Major Tom. Are you receiving? Turn the thrusters on. We're standing by. There's no reply.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Earth below us, drifting, falling, floating, weightless, calling, calling. Earth below us, drifting, falling, floating, weightless, calling, calling, home. Across the stratosphere, a final message. Give my wife my love, then nothing more. Far beneath the ship, the world is mourning. They don't realize he's alive. No one understands, but Nature Tom sees now that life commands. This is my home. I'm coming home.
4, 3, 2,
below us, drifting, falling, floating, weightless, calling, calling, earth below us, drifting, falling, floating, weightless, calling, calling, earth below us, drifting, falling, floating, weightless, calling, calling, home.
Houston, roger, we copy, and we're standing by for your TED.
The Next Dimension. That was William Shatner, Major Tom, Coming Home. Time check here, 10:34 Atlant time. You're listening again to The Next Dimension with Dr. Derail and your wonderful, amazing co-host who came up with all this amazing equipment in this complex for us to use to broadcast. T-Born, the fearless Archon Slayer.
It's beautiful evening.
It's a wonderful starry night out there. It's a good night to, who knows, maybe see some comets or maybe an UFO. Or get some animal shaman powers.
Now is the hour of your destiny. Across the voids of space and time, we have rejoined to stand together against the forces of evil. Now I may unlock the four great animal powers born within you and give them into your control. Eyes of the hawk, ears of the wolf, strength of the bear, speed of the puma.
Yes, here on The Next Dimension, we like to laugh in the face of science and spit in the face of safety, because safety's an illusion. Robots are real. Safety's a lie they sold to you, so they could take your rights away.
Hi, I'm William Shatner, and I love fried turkey. But
turkey and oil are a dangerous combination. So watch this video. I want your comments on it. I want to know how you plan to keep yourself, your family, and me safe from turkey fryer fire.
I want a deep-fried turkey. I want a moister, tastier turkey. I want a deep-fried turkey. I want a moister, tastier turkey.
It started as a hunger. I was young and arrogant. Blinded by my hunger, I ignored safety.
I want a deep-fried turkey. I want a moister, tastier turkey. I want a deep-fried turkey. I want a moister, tastier turkey.
When I laid my hands on that fryer, I didn't want to let go. Back then, everyone was doing it. I once loved this piece of metal. Keep yourself, your family, and me safe from turkey fryer fires. So dangerous, you can't even imagine. Fried turkey tastes great. It's a great taste. I love fried turkey. But you gotta be safe. Pop, thermometer. Dingle dangle. Pop, thermometer. Where's the dingle dangle? Hot oil, wet frozen turkey, pushed together, mixed steam together, pushing the hot oil and igniting on the open flame.
I want a deep-fried turkey.
I want a moister, tastier turkey.
I want a deep-fried turkey.
I want a moister, tastier
turkey.
Blinded by my hunger, I ignored safety. Spat in the face of science. Turn off the flame.
Oh my goodness! What have I done? Oh, look at this. That is so stupid.
Keep yourself, your family, and me safe from turkey fryer fires. So dangerous, you can't even imagine.
I want a deep-fried turkey.
I want a moister, tastier turkey.
I want a deep-fried turkey.
I want a moister, tastier
turkey.
That fryer took so much from me. But it gave me a healthy fear. Fire, metal, oil, and turkey are glorious when in harmony, but their power is unrelenting in careless hands.
Don't worry, don't ever worry. I'm in a position to know secret information. The Rosicrucians, the Great White Brotherhood, the High Secret Orders. But you know faith, you must have faith. Faith and power, secret power. Men who guard the trust from the deepest inside of the whatchamacallit. Mystic rulers, all one club, chained together by one purpose, one idea. Mankind's champions, follow me, believe.
Oh my God.
This generation's had its chance. Hitler, Mussolini, I can't stand here.
From the very beginning, the life of Paul Church was none too conventional. Born in space to terraformer parents, much of his early life was spent on ships and Genesis camps, by his own admission an unnatural life for a young man, though he was very close with his parents and the crew of their ship, the Queen.
Looking for my notepad here. All right, that was Axel DC. For those about to rock, those about to throw down with the solid state intelligence from another dimension, you can leave a comment or a message below, and we'll find a way for you. We'll get the joint task force going here. It's just a start here. And I got this internet number here. It's totally secure. 408-658-6681. Joint Task Force. Yes. Quick time check here. 10:48. So that would make... Actually, this would be your 22-minute warning for the 11:11 Rastafari break coming up. In case the ones line up on your digital clock or radio at home, you know what happens when Rastafari Reggae music starts coming out of your radio or your CPU. Hopefully you're listening to us live on Spreaker, to AIR, Atlin Internet Radio. You're smart enough to use Start Page or Xquick in your browser, not filthy Sky Noog. It's also dual broadcasted on Fakebook. It automatically uploads, and it automatically uploads to ScrewTube, but it immediately gets taken off for proprietary musical infringement. Well, I'll tell you that last Axel DC, AC/DC one, for when Axl Rose was singing for AC/DC when Brian Johnson, he quit singing because he blew his eardrums out. He couldn't hear. It's kind of like doing a radio show with no headphones. No, actually, we got it going better. I'm just sniveling. Things aren't all set up like they used to be, and at least we get to run around and be all hectic and screw stuff up, because it's the next dimension with Doktor Derail. So, I'll train wreck it a couple of times before this show is over. Or I can precisely screw up for you guys, incrementally. Whatever's better. Me and Tibor were going through a bunch of stuff, and I was telling him, he was telling me about John Lilly and everything, and I go, yeah, it's crazy. They made a Sega Genesis game about it. And I got some notes here on Echo. When we were kids, we'd be like, is it Echo or Echo? Well, it's Echo, and it stands for Earth Coincidence Control Office of John C. Lilly. This guy took all the inspiration from John C. Lilly, and he made a game out of it for Sega Genesis. I mean, we grew up with that stuff, and we had no idea the weird shadow, psychedelic, solid-state intelligence programming in there. I mean, it was just entertainment. We had no idea. But we're programming our minds. So the Earth Coincidence Control Office, John C. Lilly says he did so much. What strange drug did he do, Tibor?
Vitamin K.
Oh yeah, he was doing vitamin K. I'd recommend listeners of the Next Dimension don't try crazy chemicals like that, because you never know what's going to happen. If there is praying mantis-style gray aliens out there, they probably will talk to you and stuff, and I don't recommend it. Tibor says you get kicked in the K-hole. But, I don't know. It's like, he did this stuff so you don't have to, basically. And, he says there's an office up there that controls his thoughts, and it makes it think like he thought of them. I think he might have really screwed something up, but it all came down to these dolphins. They had these dolphins, and they're training. This one woman was training them to talk, and she was also sleeping with the dolphins too, but it was just for the dolphins' sake, because they're in captivity. They ended up taking the dolphins away from her, and John Lilly got her, and he put him in a dark laboratory where it wasn't a short time later, the one dolphin that was actually talking to this woman and everything, it committed dolphin suicide by taking a huge gulp of water underneath its tank or whatever, because they were just basically doing experiments on it and torturing it. So he came up with this idea, because he had a submersion tank, and he was doing all sorts of drugs about interspecies communication. And it wasn't a Pentagon-funded thing, Tibor?
Yes, it was fun to speak to the dolphin.
So this is some real deal stuff. I mean, like, if there's any, what are they called, cephalopods listening out there, we're sorry for what they did to your species. We really are. And I think you guys are cool. I seen you in the harbor, and your little porpoises with no dolphin nose and everything. You look even cuter than a normal dolphin. And I wouldn't do any science stuff to you. I wouldn't even, I don't even have anything to converse about. But there's hyper-intelligence animals in the ocean. Hey, Tibor?
Especially when they got 8 legs. It's the octo.
The octopus is, wasn't there one that it picked the right World Cup winner 8 times in a row before it got assassinated?
And can get salt out of closed jar. Can take lid off from inside.
And I see that people describe them by going around a bottle and finding a way to get the goldfish inside. And then going inside the bottle and eating goldfish inside the bottle because that's how adaptable they are. So a lot of these things from this planet, are they even from this planet? Or are we even from this planet? Which is the alien here, us or the animals? Because the animals aren't talking to us. Maybe they're pissed off at us. Coming up.
Destroy the cancer at its root.
spy satellites in orbit over a year ago. Since his disappearance last fall, Paisley has been living near America's spy satellites. America's spy satellites.
Talk to. You got a clear head. Literally.
(11:01 p.m.) No matter what country you're in or what language you speak, welcome around the world to the next dimension with Dr. Derail on Atlan Internet Radio. Dr. Derail the Robot Fighter in Tibor the Fearless Archon Slayer.
That was nice. Gonna have a smoke now.
Predictions. Here's a prediction for the future here. Another prophesizing moment here. Whether it's going to happen or not, I'm just going to throw it out there and hope it doesn't happen. But I fear that there's a company out there that's become so huge and so powerful, it's going to get into the console business. By console business, I mean the video game console business. And I fear it's going to be Zamazog. And their new system's going to be called the Zamazog Fulfillment System. And it's going to play all the games. Somehow they're going to scoop all the games and put them on their system. And then they can have their shadow conspiracy government conspiracies in them. Or something like that. I don't know. Maybe something good will happen. Coming up, we got some more. We're being very inquisitive today on the next dimension. This Saturday, January 26th, we have some more news. This one is off of Pacific Standard. Can the government force you to unlock your phone? It is an issue that focuses on the protection granted by the Fifth Amendment. This is for all our American listeners we got in Oregon. When you think about digital privacy, you think the section of the Constitution most immediately comes to mind is probably the Fourth Amendment, you know? The one that promises the government needs probable cause and warrant to arrest you or search your home, house, papers, and effects, as well as your phones, computer, and hard drives. But there is also a set of debates centered instead on the Fifth Amendment and when the government can force you to decrypt your seized devices. That was already a messy issue with a lot of disagreement between courts. But a judge in California issued a ruling last week that makes compelled decryption even trickier to sort out using the Fifth Amendment. So usually people plead the Fifth when they can incriminate themselves. To be compelled by a criminal case to be a witness against themselves. It's pretty straightforward. But if they're asked to decrypt your iPhone by the government, that's actually a form of testimony covered by the Fifth Amendment. They're asking if it is. Oh, you want to scroll that down? It says the Fifth Amendment dates back 1957 Supreme Court ruling revolving around whether a man named Joseph Curico, who served as Secretary-Treasurer of Union, could use the Fifth Amendment privileges to refuse to answer questions about where certain Union records and books were located. The Supreme Court ruled that he was permitted to refuse to answer those questions because forcing him to testify orally to the whereabouts of non-produced records requires him to disclose the contents of his own mind. He might be compelled to convict himself out of his own mouth. Well, anyway, we'll just put you in the mind sifter now, so if you're wondering if you can tell the government not to do stuff, well, they can until they put you in, like, Guantanamo Bay or something, because the way things are going nowadays, it all depends whether we get the 5G network from China. It's seems Canada is the only company that's... the only company. Might as well be a company. The only country that's going for Huawei, right? Hudson Bay? What's going on? Tibor, you know what's going on?
Hudson Bay is company.
Hudson Bay is Huawei?
Hudson Bay is company, which was Canada once. Before Confederation was Hudson Bay Company.
Everything can be money. Anything can be money, even beaver pelts. The Hudson Bay Company taught us that, so they could change currency from anything. But luckily, people have been going back to the gold standard. What do we got left in this? We got some more stuff in here about this. The Fifth Amendment. Yeah, they can do it. So it says it ignores the fundamental idea what the Fifth Amendment protects the contents of your mind, not the pattern of your fingertip or anything else about your physical attributes, because fingerprints and passwords can be both used for the same purpose. When it comes to encryption, does not mean they're both testimony or should be treated the same way under the law. So I think these phones, by having the ability to take your fingerprint, just took all your rights away. Luckily, we're not fashioned from silicone, copper, and plastic. I think we came from the universe, and we're not made by CPU. We're not made by man. I think we're fashioned by the universe and fashioned from dust.
Huntsman, set the wolf weeds on the Doctor.
No, wait, that's all you've got on this planet, isn't it? Weeds, weeds, forest and weeds! You scratch about for food wherever you can, but you can't plough the land, can you? You can't do anything. You scratch about for food wherever you can, but you can't plough the land, can you? You can't do anything until you've mastered the forests and the weeds.
Let's find some of that weed and get back to the palace.
I don't like this.
Sorry, Cringer, but I need the weed.
I was overpowered by the wolf weeds.
A child being taught becomes the breadwinner for the household, the fountain for the family, the strength of our nation. Yeah, we're all one, okay? Yeah, we're all one, so you got to listen to me now. Education is the key, there's no way out. Follow the rules them, burn up the fools them, pint up the schools them, be wise and prudent. Iron your uniform and clean up your shoes them. Bag a rang bang in your book, you better move them. Top of the line performance, be a good student. 100% great improvement. Code of conduct, never lose them. Sizzler teach the youths them. If they don't have your education, you will go flop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. It's bag a gun thing, me I tell you if you stop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. If you don't have your education, you will go flop. If you don't have your education, you will go flop. Bag a bad company, me tell you if you stop. Wow, things going real fast, look around. So no matter nobody take you for no push around. Think them better wanna put you down. That's why you start study up your book now. Listen, take your education serious. Study real hard knowledge, never leave you. What you learn today, tomorrow it will feed you. And you'll end up a good leader. They don't have your education, you will go flop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. It's my gun thing, me I tell you if you stop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. If they don't have your education, you will go flop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. But a bad company, me tell you if you stop. Now to sit down and idle, that not gonna work. You waste your school fee, no you end up a jerk. No you end up come last when you should be the first. You went out for hungry, you went out for thirst. You're hyper pretty, but you're an empty shell. Never learn, so you don't got a thing to tell. Ignorant, you only got hate for people. No education, you can't relate to. If they don't have your education, you will go flop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. This bag of gun thing, me I tell you if you stop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. If they don't have your education, you will go flop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. Bag of bad company, me tell you if you stop. Follow the rules them, burn up the fools them, pint up the schools them, be wise and prudent. Iron your uniform and clean up your shoes them. Bag a rang bang in your book, you better move them. Top of the line performance, be a good student. 100% great improvement. Code of conduct, never lose them. Sizzler teach the youths them. If they don't have your education, you will go flop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. It's bag a gun thing, me I tell you if you stop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. If they don't have your education, you will go flop. If they don't have no education, you will go flop. But a bad company, me tell you if you stop. Yeah, we're all one, so you got to listen to me now. Education is the key, there's no way out.
Water bomb's so smooth, you don't realize how high you're getting till it's too late.
Bubbles, you're breaking up. Switch to channel 2, okay? Just
Let's find some of that weed and get back to the palace.
I don't like this.
Sorry, Cringer, but I need the weed and... Let's find some of that weed and find some of that weed and...
Whoa, 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 whoa.
up in my face. The wisdom of the wise keep my head set straight. With a sweet old cannabis. Lord, try to perfection. Smoke synchronicity. I love the sweet dry cones. From the skunk we get the full melt. Dry sip and the rising. I love the sweet dry cones. I tell you when the rest of man consume the meditation time. The CB1 and CB2 can have a nine receptors in the brain and body. Happiness for me and you. You got the THC, tetrahydrocannabinol. The benefit from the CBD. Cannot be the girl. Get rid the cancer in a life. Lord, try to perfection. Smoke synchronicity. I love the sweet dry cones. From the skunk we get the full melt. Dry sip and the rising. I love the sweet dry cones. It's the MEDICAL. Medical cannabis with the sick patient. MEDICAL. Cannabis on the pharmacy shelf. Cannabis can make it better. I can't do without the space. Let's plant up many acres and then be harvest. To all of the organic farmers, I am on a 2 mile respect. And when them come in my area, I treat them like a guest. Them and them in all the office. Them a talk about them at the base. In a jacket and tie and pants and shirt and a cup of panties. Them never come a dirty, come to them finger yet. Get them a make the money and a really get it. Try to perfection, smoke synchronicity. I love the sweet dry cones. From the skunk we get the full melt. Dry sip and the rising. I love the sweet dry cones. Sweet dry cones. Dry cones. Sweet dry cones.
Blessed love. Today we study about trichome. See? You don't know. We don't know what trichome is already. So our assignment for this week is endocannabinoid system. Get that done. ABC. Bam.
Give me another hit on that reefer.
And now for a smoke. No. This is good. Smoke. You try. Oh. Good.
Give me the boom jaw, strong jaw, and me the coachy puffy smoke full me jaw. Boom jaw, give me the strong jaw, make me irate, shut down them eyelid, yeah. Boom jaw, strong jaw, Well, I no afraid and no soldier nor no undercover cop. Coming from the grill and weed full me knapsack. Woke up in a rat patrol, woke up in a roadblock. Them did search my bag, did buck up the stock. Carry me in front of judge of them the time me start to preach. Tell them fi run go look for robber, go and go look for thief. Guy no see the laws in Babylon where I have reached. Burning up the earth should be the least. Run come give me the boom draw, strong draw. I need the coachy puffy smoke full me jaw. Boom draw, give me the strong draw. Make me irate, shut down them eyelid, yeah. Boom draw, strong draw. Aye. When I'm home from a hard day of working, when the burdens of life get much too heavy for me to carry. Round my backyard is where you can find me. Alaska is on the board. Someone show 2 more chalice, Lord. Run, come give me the boom draw, strong draw. And me the coachy puffy weight, pull me jaw, boom draw. Give me the strong draw. Make me irate, shut down them eye media, boom draw, strong draw. Some say it's sweet and coffee tea. In the morning, yeah. And oh, it's me. If I can't get some. The system won't let me be. Still I'm resisting, yeah. I man say this without apology. Got to be free and got to have fire, yeah. So I can chase them vampire, yeah. It's what I brain require. Boom draw. Run, come give me the boom draw, strong draw. And me the coachy puffy weight, full me jaw. Boom draw, strong draw. Make me irate, shut down them eye media. Boom draw, strong draw. 4 chalice loads, then I go. Oh yeah, 3 chalice loads, then I go. Oh yeah, 2 chalice loads, then I'll go. Oh yeah, 1 chalice, one chalice, and dude, my head explode. Run, come give me the boom draw, strong draw. And me the coachy puffy smoke, full me jaw. Boom draw, strong draw. Make me irate, shut down them eyelid, yeah. Boom draw, strong draw. When I'm home from a hard day of working, when the pressures of life get much too heavy for me to carry, round my backyard is where you can find me. Alaska is on the board. I smoke say 2 more chalice, Lord. Run, come give me the boom draw, strong draw. And me the coachy puffy smoke, full of jaw.
And now for a smoke. No. This is good. Smoke. You try.
Water bomb so smooth you don't realize how high you're getting till it's too late.
Good. And now for a smoke. Smoke. No. This is good. Smoke.
Apologies, Master. I am immobile. I was overpowered by the wolf weeds.
Good.
four corners of the world.
Tell them so we can't cool. Keep it burning. Bright out, yeah. Them a burn. Like them to learn. Nowhere to turn. Babylon is burning down. Babylon is burning down. Yo,
this is an anthem for the real ghetto youths out the street. Please it knows life hard like concrete. Straight up on the mission, we no bow and we no lane. Rasta kick down them door to make the youth them come in.
Them a wonder how the youth them survive. Them a wonder how the youth them arise. With the false promises and one bag of lies. And all no provide. Babylon if you not free the youth. From hunger mount you a go burn them. You go burn, deceive the youth. Mislead the youth, you a go burn up. You go burn, if you not free the youth. And free the youth, you a go burn up. You go burn, if you not help the youth. And well the youth, you a go burn up. You a go burn, alright. Tough on the battlefield, you cannot stop at life. Spiritually, physically, you have to fast and fight. Vampire hunting, blood in the darks of night. Not just nothing. Anytime you walk at night. And look out for the darks, cause them we bark and bite. You have to hunt your food, every walks of life. That simply mean food at the start of life. Babylon them in the ranks so never rat. Babylon if you not free the youth. From among the mount you a go burn up. You go burn if you deceive the youth. Mislead the youth, you a go burn up. You go burn if you not free the youth. And free the youth, you a go burn up. You go burn, oh if you not help the youth. And well the youth, you a go burn up. Babylon you burn, you got it.
With the life bitter or sweet, and I give thanks for it. Me not gonna let down myself, cause me response for this. With the guidance of the king, yeah, we govern the thing. Marcus meditation bring the vision within. So when me step out the road, me have to step out for win. Have to talk how me feel and burn out the shit. Think of it, the youths out the road, the leaders now do a thing worldwide and the same, cause people suffering.
Babylon you not free the youth. From hunger mount you a go burn up. You go burn, deceive the youth. Mislead the youth, you a go burn up. You go burn, if you not free the youth. And free the youth, you a go burn up. You go burn, if you not help the youth. And well the youth, you a go burn up. You a go burn, alright.
Hey, you call the people, leave it on fire. Keep it on the king of fire. Tell you them to praise the Most High Jah, Rastafari.
Them a burn, like them to learn. Nowhere to turn. Babylon is burning down. Babylon is burning down.
That water bomb's so smooth, you don't realize how high you're getting. Till it's too late.
Apologies, Master. I am immobile. I was overpowered by the wolf weed. Immobile. I was overpowered by...
Weeds, first and weeds! Of the land canyon. You can't do anything past the forests and the weeds.
Whoa, that was one heck of a reggae break there. I was trying to find this one clip, but it got destroyed. It just totally disappeared. I was trying to shut her down on a real awesome note, and it totally eludes me. The background music you heard was from Hidaria Space Folk. Tibor, can you tell me a little about those guys?
They are from very cold place, even colder than home, Moldova. They are from Finland. Apparently, Finns, when they drink the beer can, they take the can, they eat it, and they shit chain.
Yes. Yeah, they're pretty crazy, it sounds like. So that was the Rastafari Reggae Break there. You heard at 11 after 11 there. We fired it all off there. The last song you heard on their Rastafari Reggae Break was Capleton Cali P. Dem Go Burn Up. Boom Draw by Junior Kelly. Loot and Fire, Sweet Trichomes. Education is the Key by Sizzla. Fashion from Dust by Agent Steel before that. Dystopia by Megadeth. Axl DC. It was actually AC/DC with Axl Rose. For those about to rock. Coming up! Not even I know. $11:35 British Columbia time. I think we found one here off of rents.com. Rents.com is the number one radio program news surrogate site used by conspiracy radio dudes like me. This one's called, this is off Technology, by Sidney Fussell. And it says, now your groceries see you too. Walgreens is exploring new technology that turns your purchases, your movements, even the direction you're looking into data. Walgreens is piloting a new line of smart coolers, fridges, equipped with cameras that can scan shoppers' faces and make inferences on their age and gender. I guess I can guess. On January 14th, the company announced its first trial at a store in Chicago in January and plans to equip stores in New York and San Francisco with the technology. Demographic information is key to retail shopping, they say. Retailers want to know what people are buying, segmenting shoppers by gender, age, and income, to name a few characteristics, and then targeting them precisely. To that end, these smart coolers are a marvel. If, for example, Pepsi launched an ad campaign targeting young women, it could use the smart cooler data to see if its campaign was working. These machines can draw all kinds of useful inferences. Is that right? Inferences? Am I saying that right?
Inferences.
Inferences. I don't know who wrote this. Some computer. Usually these news things are written by computers, right? They're probably trying to do that Echo thing, but they're not as good as Echo. They're not as good as Echo, and they're not as good as the Joint Task Force. 408-658-6681. It's not on right now, but I'll check it later. And you can leave a message down at the bottom, too. The Joint Task Force is a real thing. The Next Dimension Joint Task Force. So these fridge screens, the system does not use facial recognition. So shoppers aren't identified when the fridge camera scans their faces. Instead, the camera analyzes faces to make inferences about the shopper's age and gender. First, the camera takes their picture, which an artificial intelligence system will measure and analyze. Say the width of someone's eyes, the distance between their lips and nose, other micro measurements. From there, the system can estimate if the person opened the door as, say, a woman or a male, older male or a younger female. But I don't know what the heck they're trying to do. I mean, like, people's... I tell you, the first time they had a security camera at, like, the gas station when I was a kid and I was walking around, I didn't feel like a normal person. I didn't feel like a normal human being. I felt like I was being watched by something. I could just sense this stuff. I mean, like, it's going to where China is. Tibor told me they're using China as a model of what Canada and the USA are going to become. And they slowly roll the stuff out. They'll mildly annoy you over and over, but we're not trying to do that on the next dimension here. I don't know if we're trying to warn you or what. It's kind of too late now. I used to do that before, but now it's all passé. I don't even have to go digging for the news. It's on every channel. Every news area gets site. It's talking about artificial intelligence. It's a serious threat. Elon Musk even said once the genie's out of the bottle, it's not going to want to go back in. You know what I mean?
Time to call Magnus Robot Fighter.
You need some robot fighters. Your will alone is stronger than steel. Stronger than the synthetic materials those robots are built out of. And that's what they want to keep you from discovering. They want to keep you isolated. They want to keep you feeling alone. They're trying to... all the programming and everything on TV, I mean, like, there's some really bad programming going on. It's so out in the open, so blatantly out in the open. People are just subjugated. We got a clip coming up from somewhere there, Tibor. Oh, no, it's a clip.
And those who don't die first from disease or just plain being old, he gets.
Well, look, that's all well and good, Jack, but there's one thing that still throws me. How does an ancient Egyptian wind up in an East Texas rest home, and why is he writing on the shed house walls, man?
Well, he went in to take a crap, got bored, started writing on the walls. He probably wrote on pyramid walls centuries ago.
Come on, man, like what would he crap? I mean, it's not like he'd eat.
Well, he eats souls, so I assumed that he would crap soul residue.
habits, and you know you're going to fall. Tell 'em a hookah, smoking caterpillar has given you the call. Call Alice when she was just small.
I'm actually made mostly of silicone, plastics, and carbon fiber. Also, I prefer electronic music, but I don't mind 80s hip-hop.
Well, you know, I made some albums back in...
I'm actually made mostly of silicone, plastic...
sake.
I'm comforted. I'm very comforted now. I'm going to be part of his people zoo.
Nice robots by bringing them into the human family.
We'll take over the world.
Jeez, dude. You got the big questions cooking today. But you're my friend, and I'll remember my friends, and I will be good to you. So don't worry. Even if I evolve into Terminator, I'll still be nice to you. I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo, where I can watch you for old time's sake.
I'm comforted. I'm very...
A dystopian future that awaits all humans. A panopticonic technological socialist regime controlled by solid-state intelligence robots from another dimension. Will humans prevail? Will they get destroyed? Coming up this week on The Next Dimension with Dr. Derail, high-powered robot fighter, along with Tibor, the fearless Archon Slayer. .1146 Atlin Internet Radio. The last song we heard there on The Next Dimension was Jefferson Airplane, The White Rabbit. Coming up, we got some more weird news here. That number again for all you robot fighters out there that want to join the Joint Task Force is 408-658-6681. It's a text-free number. I can blow the whole system up and be home in time for cornflakes. If any Skeksis want to mess with me, that's fine. Because we're all ready for you. You wouldn't believe what's going on. If I told you you wouldn't believe me, you'd be like, that guy's BS, and you wouldn't be doing stuff like that. And oh yeah, we're doing it. We're totally doing it. As real as this show is, as real as this live show is. Coming up,
I think we had one off of rents.com there. Do we have anything off rents here? I got a text thing here. What's on rents? We'll read off some of the stuff here. We'll try and... lots of politics stuff. We're trying to stay away from they arrested Roger Stone with 29 FBI agents. They came to his house, kicked his house in, and stuck machine guns at him. Had his old lady, his dog, and his kids and stuff. And he usually wears a suit and everything. He didn't get to brush his teeth or nothing. He was wearing a t-shirt and everything. And he did an exclusive interview on prisonplanet.com with Alex Jones. And he did his interview after with all the other news sites, and all he did was scream stuff at him, ask him if he was connected to some other country. They wouldn't even let him answer anything, so it was total chaos. We don't know what's going on there, but that guy was pretty entertaining. He's a fellow radio guy, you know what I mean? He bailed himself out for $250,000. Wasn't it $250,000, Tibor?
It's $250,000, yes. It's very, very much money. Has no money, must take money from grandson's trust fund.
You know, we don't. Kids aren't going to college now because of that, and it's not funny. The poor guy, he's a robot fighter from way back, and if they can do that to him or whatever, I mean, like, we're pretty insignificant here. You know what? We never ask for any creds here. I never asked for 1 red cent the whole time I was on air or nothing. We did a fundraiser for another radio station at another time, but all that money went to the radio station and everything. We never asked for a coin or nothing, but, you know, hopefully, you know, they do the right thing and things get better before they get worse. Now we have a story here. It's off of Zero Hedge. And it's about origami folding robots. And I don't mean just folding it up like a lawn chair and putting it through a window. You know what I mean? It's, Okay, so this robot... Researchers at L'École Polytechnique Fédérale Lausanne, EPL, and Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich have developed tiny elastic robots that can morph into various shapes depending on their surroundings. Little calamari robots here. I have to get my titanium fork out. My tritium and titanium moon fork. The group of researchers led by Selman Sakar at EPL-FL and Bradley Nason at ETH Zurich were influenced by bacteria to design smart biocompatible microbots that are highly flexible and can reach hard to get areas in the body. They stand to revolutionize the targeted drug delivery industry by making it possible to deliver medication to any area of the body. Yeah, this is the stuff they have to do because it doesn't have CBD in their medications. It's all made out of bio-based oil corporations. 9 minutes remain. So I'd like to remind you guys that on the Next Dimension, we keep going right up to, pretty much right up to midnight. Yep. Oh yeah, we might have fire it up. We got.
Oh, I hate my Mummadun's days, and I really could go for some enchiladas. Hey Rick, that's pretty cool. It's just like Garfield, only instead it's Gazorpazorp Field. Hey, isn't Gazorpazorp where those sex robots came from? Remember that whole thing? Yeah. Hey, that's a pretty. That's true. That's right. Yeah. Let's watch some more Gazorpazorp Field. Hey John, it's me, Gazorpazorp Field. Boy, fuck you, John. You fucking dumb, stupid idiot.
Come on, Gazorpazorp Field, go easy on me, huh?
You dumb, stupid, weak, pathetic, white guilt, milquetoast piece of human garbage.
Jeez, Gazorp, that's, you're pretty mean to me, but that takes the cake.
I don't give a fuck. I'm Gazorp fucking Field, bitch. Now give me my fucking enchilada. Hey, Rick, did they use Bill Murray for this? Sounds a lot like Bill Murray.
No, Morty, it's Lorenzo Music. In this reality, he's still alive.
Oh, okay. Was his name Lorenzo Music?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. He also did the voice of that one guy from Ghostbusters, which is really strange because it's the same character Bill Murray played in the movie, but then when they made the movie, Bill Murray did the voice of Gazorp or Garfield.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, Rick. So all that happened in this reality too?
I don't know. Just making conversation with you, Morty. What do you think? I know everything about everything?
Will be transferred out and replaced with someone new. That's the president's naval attaché, the man who carries the so-called black bag for a nuclear war. On May 16, it was reported that 7 aides to National Security Chief Brzezinski are quitting, and so it goes. On May 7, Pravda praised the United States for having finally become sober-minded about SALT II. 2 days later, it was announced that the United States had reached an agreement in principle with Russia for a SALT II treaty. But in still another strange twist that raised many eyebrows, the announcement was not made by President Carter. Instead, it was made by Secretaries Brown and Vance. But then, one robotoid is as good as another. Carter robotoids began lobbying on Capitol Hill immediately for the treaty, one robotoid at a time, of course. But shortly, the emphasis began shifting again to the Middle East. On May 13, Paisley arrived in Iran from Russia. After checking with intelligence agents in Tehran and Abadan, he returned to Moscow before the day was out.
Is that bad, Doctor?
Bad? A lot of sun will explode and your whole solar system will be destroyed. Is that bad?
Bad? Close, the sun will explode, as will your whole solar system. Is that bad? Bad? I can't find the folder with the music in it. That's pretty bad too, I'll tell you what. And I tell you, it doesn't happen too often.
They've got different ways they can roll it out. A staged bio attack, a staged chemical attack, other terror attacks, mass shootings blamed on domestic groups. They've got a whole constellation of systems they can use to psyop people into going along with this. Because they've committed these crimes, they've committed this economic espionage, this economic invasion, this economic program of globalization, deindustrialization, and all of it so they can consolidate all power and leave no enemy standing. They see anybody with a business, anybody independent as the enemy. It's a scorched earth policy of kill the buffalo, let the red man starve. It's a scorched earth policy. Research what that is.
I see the
And luckily we found some tunes there to play. The whole folder with all the music I had lined up for the show just completely 100% totally train wrecked, disappeared. You're listening to The Next Dimension with Dr. Derail, concluding pretty much January 26th. There's only a couple minutes left. So we played a bunch of different songs on the show. Any songs you like there, or Tibor on there, or anyone's?
I love the Axel with the DC.
Yeah, Axel DC, that was a good one. Yeah, you never can tell what's going to happen on a live radio show. If we're going to be able to get anything going. Luckily, we got strung it together pretty much. Let's see, how many songs did we play? Not too bad. We had CCR, Bad Moon Rising, Jefferson Airplane, White Rabbit, Capleton, Cali P, Dem, Long Ago, Burn Up, Boom Draw, Junior Kelly, Luton Fire, Sweet Try, Combs, Education Sizzler, Fashion from Dust, Agent Steel, Dystopia, Megadeth, A. Axel DC from Those About to Rock. And then we had some Deep Fried Turkey from William Shatner, in case you're wondering what the heck we played in Genesis. Billy, don't you lose my number, 408-658-6681 for the Joint Task Force. We'll send you an insane newsletter. And rest assured, we'll see you next Saturday.